Breaking news here on Dolphins Today by Chad Sports. Bradley Chubb is out for the season. He was attempting to return from a torn ACL, PCL, MCL that he had at the end of the 2023 season. Had his 21-day practice window open 20 days ago. December 25th was the last day he could be activated to the 53-man roster. And Mike McDaniel announced today that that will not be the case. Remember, your 21-day practice window is open. Well, you have to be activated the 53-man or you are ineligible to return. And McDaniel said that between him, Chris Greer, and Bradley Chubb, they collectively decided that they will not activate Bradley Chubb before the season ends, and he will be out for the entire 2024 NFL season, which absolutely sucks if you're a Dolphins fan for multiple reasons, if you were asking me. And we'll start with the first one being that I wanted to see him out this year, or see him out on the field this year. He got paid a lot of money. He's getting paid $29 million. At least that's his projected cap hit for 2025. And if you want to justify paying him that type of money, it would have been nice to know that he could return and play competent football in the final 2 weeks of the year, right? Like, you don't want to be paying him that much money if he has no get-off, no explosiveness, no ability to rush the passer anymore because of that catastrophic knee injury he suffered against the Baltimore Ravens in 2023. And plus, if you wanted to trade him in this offseason, which is a realistic outcome and a potential rumor for the Miami Dolphins, well, if you wanted a decent return, you probably would have liked to have Bradley Chubb put some film on tape of him being good so you didn't have to get a 5th, 6th rounder. Because when you have the cap hit he has, the fact that he isn't going to play football for 18 months, it is a legit issue. And I don't know if the Dolphins are going to get a pick that they would deem worthy of trading Bradley Chubb away. And now when you think the long-term edge group here, Chop Robinson's your only sure thing because Jalen Phillips is coming off of a torn Achilles and a torn ACL in back-to-back seasons. He's also entering the final year of his 5th-year rookie contract, and you have to decide whether you want to pay him long-term or not. And now with him being out for the last 2 seasons, basically, and getting big-time injuries over the past 2 years, Bradley Chubb not playing for 18 months, you have a big question mark at your edge group going into 2025, where second-year Chop Robinson will be the only sure things for the Dolphins. Tough blow for this team not to have Bradley Chubb return this season. Another tough blow is Kendall Fuller. He is unlikely to play this Sunday against the Cleveland Browns. He left the game against the 49ers on Week 16 with a knee injury. Whenever a player goes down on the ground holding their knee, you think the worst. Luckily, it isn't an ACL injury that will keep him out for an extended period of time, which is great because someone who is his age, approaching 30 years old, you think of that potentially being a career-ending injury. Evidently not the case. Mike McDaniel labeled him as week-to-week, which means if the Dolphins win this week and are not eliminated from the playoffs, Kendall Fuller is projected to give it a go in Week 18 against the New York Jets. That's at least what Mike McDaniel said. You'd have to imagine if the Dolphins are eliminated from contention of postseason play this upcoming weekend, Kendall Fuller will not return this year, but at least as of right now, Kendall Fuller labeled as week-to-week with a knee injury. All right, let's move over to a Jordyn Brooks injury update now because he is another player that has been key for this Dolphins defense all season long. But this is the first injury update of the day that we will have a positive one on. Brooks is dealing with a knee/quad injury, and he told reporters today that it's going to be nothing serious, and he's feeling very good, which is very good for Dolphins fans because he has been the best Dolphins linebacker without a question, leading the team with 128 tackles. He's played in every football game this season for Miami, has totaled 3 sacks, and has a Pro Football Focus grade of 74.7. This has been a home run signing by Chris Greer in NFL free agency. We can give him a lot of slack for how he handled the interior offensive line and how he handled some of these pieces on the defensive side like Jordan Poyer and letting a couple safeties go and Deshaun Elliott and Brandon Jones. But Jordyn Brooks replacing Jerome Baker in the middle of that Dolphins defense was one of them. He has been great. And he got signed to a 3-year contract this past free agency period. And he is going to be under contract for a cap hit of $10.05 million in 2025 and 2026, which looks to be one of the better contracts for a linebacker, off-ball linebacker that is, in the entire NFL. I've been very fond of the way Jordyn Brooks has played this season. I know there's been some knocks on Chris Greer, but he at least nailed this one in NFL free agency. Drop a number for me. Grade Jordyn Brooks' first season with the Miami Dolphins. Scale it 1 to 10 for me. I got to be honest, I'm going to go pretty high. I'm going to go 9.5. You couldn't have imagined Jordyn Brooks playing any better than he is right now. You knew he was going to be a good run-stopping linebacker and a good downhill thumper, but he's been pleasantly good in pass coverage as well. I'd give it a 9.5. All right, let's get over to the rookie Chop Robinson because he should absolutely fire you up, and he has been the most enjoyable experience of this entire Dolphins season, if we're going to be honest. He was terrible in the first 6 weeks of the year, but ever since Week 7 began, he has been a revelation. And if you look specifically at NFL Week 9 being the starting point, Chop Robinson ranks 3rd in the entire National Football League with 39 pressures, and he is number 1 in pass rush win rate with a number of 23.9%. Chop Robinson has legitimately become the number 1, number 2, number 3 best player on this Dolphins defense. Like, it's legitimately up for a conversation between Chop Robinson, Zach Sealer, Jordyn Brooks, and Jalen Ramsey. Those have been the 4 best defensive players for Miami. And over the last 7 weeks, I think you could make an argument it's been Chop Robinson. He's also a legitimate Defensive Rookie of the Year candidate. Now, it's going to be hard to unseat Jared Verse, who just got to the start right away this season to an unbelievable start with the Los Angeles Rams. But you look at the odds here on Defensive Rookie of the Year from DraftKings. Jared Verse is the favorite. Quinion Mitchell, number 2. But then there's Chop Robinson, number 3, just ahead of Tarheeb Still and Cooper DeJean in Los Angeles and Philadelphia. Chop Robinson has been great, and you can make a bet on Robinson to potentially come from behind in the last 2 weeks and win the award over at DraftKings, the number 1 sportsbook and sponsor of the Dolphins Today channel. Let me tell you more about that. It's the most wonderful time of the year for getting in on all the hoops, football, and hockey action at DraftKings Sportsbook. In the season of giving, we're being gifted college football and basketball, pro football and basketball, and pro hockey too, almost 24/7. And here's a gift for all new customers. Bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets if your bet wins. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code HEATCHAT. That's code HEATCHAT for new customers to get $150 in bonus bets if your bet wins when you bet just $5. Happy holidays from DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bet must win to receive reward. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/bball. And when you think about Chop Robinson even more here and get back to him, he's improved in the run game so much. There was a point where he would just get targeted every single play. And we always knew Chop Robinson was going to be a good pass rusher to some degree as a rookie just because of his get-off, his athleticism, his first step, his bend is so elite, and he's an athletic freak. But he just wasn't good at setting the edge, being physical in the run game, and teams were going right after him. Teams no longer do that. He has improved his physicality, improved his ability to set the edge in the run game, and it's not a guarantee that if you run at Chop Robinson that it's going to go out for a big gain. And we have talked a lot about how bad this defense is at tackling, and that is a simple issue as well. But this team actually is top half in the NFL against the run, and I think Chop Robinson's improvement over the past couple of months have been a reason why. And Isaiah Wynn has noted how well he has improved as well. Wynn said that his progression has been crazy. To see where he started from to where he came in to refine his skills to this, it's scary to see how high his ceiling is. Couldn't agree more, Isaiah. And I'm willing to say this right now. I got on Chop Robinson for being a no-show in the first 6 weeks of the season. But it's very clear. The Miami Dolphins got one of them ones, man. And I think they're going to have a top edge rusher in the NFL for years and years to come. All right, let's move over to defensive coordinator Anthony Weaver. Is he a head coach candidate coming up this cycle and in future cycles? I believe he is, and well, that man we just mentioned earlier, Jordyn Brooks, believes so as well. Brooks said today that you get a feel for his demeanor and personality. That's the way you have to be to coach men in this league. He's got the respect of all the guys in the locker room. It makes you want to play hard for him. That's why on defense we've had the success we've had. He's done a great job bringing in a great system and coaching us the right way and earning the respect of everyone, holding everybody accountable. And I'll say this, we mentioned the tackling issues of Miami just a second ago. If the Dolphins knew how to tackle, this defense would be top 5 in the NFL. It is a top 10 defense. Like, let's not get it confused here, folks. They're top 10 in yards allowed per game, top 10 in passing yards allowed per game, top 10 in rushing yards allowed per game. They're top 10 in third down percent rate of getting opponents off the football field. The only knock on this defense is that they fail to tackle in some big-time spots. If they weren't such a poor tackling team, this would be one of the best defenses in the entire NFL, and I think we'd be having a different conversation on this season if they were better at tackling. So hopefully they just kind of get rid of those players that can't tackle or are unwilling to tackle in the offseason, because this system that Anthony Weaver is running right now is working very well. All right, make sure you hit that sub button for the latest Dolphins news, rumors. We're live also twice a week for game days, and we're live on Tuesdays. We'll be live on Tuesdays in the offseason as well. Hit that sub button and join the channel so you never miss anything surrounding the Miami Dolphins. And to round out the conversation on Anthony Weaver, I do want to make this. I think he'll be a head coach someday. Will it happen this cycle? I doubt it. It seems like it'd be a little too early and too quick for Weaver just to be a first-year DC into a first-year head coach. Feels like it would be a bold move, but if the Dolphins defense performs well again next season, I could see him being a candidate in the 2026 cycle, and he will definitely be a head coach someday. I don't know if we'll be in Miami. I don't know if we'll be somewhere else, but I expect Anthony Weaver to be leading an NFL franchise at some point in his coaching career. All right, we'll round out today's long show with a note on Jason Sanders, the kicker for the Miami Dolphins. Why? Well, on Tuesday afternoon, it was announced that he is the AFC Special Teams Player of the Week for NFL Week 16 after going perfect 5 of 5 on field goals and absolutely dominating for the Miami Dolphins. But it wanted me to bring up this as well because he's been so good this season for the Dolphins. He's missed a couple of extra points, which has been frustrating, but 22 of 24 on the year, 33 of 37 on the season, which is 8th best in all of football at an 89.2% rate. But the part that I want to note here is look at the 50-plus, man. 11 of 13, 84.6% from 50-plus yards. That is 4th best in all of football for someone who has made as many kicks as he has from 50-plus. There's only one other kicker in the NFL that I would trust right now from 50-plus more than Jason Sanders. That is that alien over in Dallas and Brandon Aubrey. But he's the 13th ranked kicker in football, according to Pro Football Focus. Sanders has been good. He's had an up-and-down career in Miami. He was a question mark coming into the season. Got off to a little bit of a rocky start, but he's been phenomenal over the last 7 weeks. Remember, he was the AFC Special Teams Player of the Month in November. So it's been a very strong 7 weeks for Jason Sanders. Shout out to number 7 for kicking the ball through the uprights consistently. And I want to show love to the kicker in the 305. Spam his jersey number down in the comments. Spam those number 7s to show Jason Sanders some love on today's show. And that will do it for today's show. Like I mentioned just a second ago, we have Dolphins content every single day. So hit that sub button so you never miss a piece of Miami Dolphins news, rumors. We will have you covered here at Dolphins Today. Join the channel.